Hey, how you doing, tech fans? Can't find my usual hat, but doesn't really matter. So, I see a lot of people talking about CPU cooling your desktop computer. Well, since I have a lot of experience building them and making them, so I can share my insight with you on that. You need air coming in. That's right. So you flip that fan around. You need air coming in and air coming out. Common sense. Because how the case comes, they come with fans. Might come with one fan. In the olden days, they just came with no fans, and they assumed that that's all. But then they found out that the CPUs would overheat, because a lot of the CPUs were cartridge fans. I should wear sunglasses because it's getting really bright in here. Excuse me, bringing some up. Not promoting anybody. I'm just drinking that. I know you should have a cup of coffee, but it's another story with that. But anyway, listen. Laptops, you need cooling pads. Not just one. I had a company sent me a free one because I complained on Amazon that the cooling fan made too many noise. Who wants a cooling fan that makes noise? So they sent me another one. It was worse. But they don't last long. On this laptop here, I got one that has 4 high-speed cooling fans running at 1200 RPM. I didn't care what color it was. Well, I do care. It was enough to handle a 15-inch laptop. Okay, so I got that, and I bought a whole bunch of them because I had a lot of laptops. So, because a laptop does overheat, and most likely the paste, the solenoid paste. Well, there's paste, there's tape, and there's a whole bunch of stuff they use today. But that paste dries out. So then you would use the tape. You have to keep an eye on that CPU. Like, I'm not promoting them, but Quick CPU does have that feature to keep an eye on that CPU and see what the temperatures are. I know you can put widgets on your desktop and look at the little CPU performance and all that stuff. I overclock all my PCs. I have all of them overclocked. I want them to run at the max. All of them. You want them to run fast. Because by default, the CPU in the Intel CPU is not running at its max. AMD's are easy to push them to the max, but they will get hot. Now this one here, the Intel in here is running at, let me see what it's running at. I have to double check. But remember, when you open up more apps and stuff like that, mine's running at 4.29. It says the maximum is 4.39. But I have it set at, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's supposed to go to high. It says high performance. I had ultra performance. There's a patch for that, but you have to run it through that PowerShell stuff. You gotta run it through PowerShell and then to tweak it. I see with all these updates from Microsoft, they don't want you running at full power. Now remember, when you're running at full power, you got to keep the laptop cool. Otherwise, again, overheat. Your PC, same thing too. You have to have get the largest fan you can put in that case. Use an 8mm. If you're gonna go higher, 12, 15, whatever it is you can get, you put it. How should you put it? The older cases had it in the back, so air would be blowing in, air will be blowing out because you want to get the hot air out, right? Same thing with your car when you're driving your car. Why not? If you drive your motorcycle, you don't really know the difference. You're driving your car. You're gonna keep it. They have dual fans. One is for the air conditioning. One is for the engine. In the past, these had one big gigantic fan. I remember my father's old VA had a big fan in the front. They got the idea. Why don't we have two fans? Some people put fans on top of the top of the inside. But you could have two fans. Not all blowing down. One blowing in, intake, outtake, intake, outtake, intake, outtake. Try it. See if it works for you. You know, you could put your RGB lights, your red. Was it red? RGB, red, green, blue. Red, green, blue. Yeah, you can put your red, green, blue lights all over the place. Enjoy your device. Worst case scenario, see now on here, on the laptop, since the heat's on the top, it's kind of trying to blow it out. It should be a set of lights, cooling going up and cooling going down, pushing it out and touching it down. I tried a block of, you can get a block of ice, dry ice, and put it in the laptop. Sure, it can keep it cooler, because you want to keep the CPU as cold as possible. My CPU is running at 120. When you see it go over 200 and like rising, it's time to change out the paste, if it has paste. You got to check and see what it has. Well, you have to open it up to find out. I used to take these apart. I used to take apart all these business from IBM, Dell, and HP. Take them apart because customers would have problems with them. Yeah, that's why you're not supposed to drink hot chocolate over your keyboard. But that's the best advice I can give you. Make sure you have the fan. So if you want more than two fans, you can put fans in the back. As long as you have an intake and outtake, so it's taking the air in and one pushing it out. It has to work like that, like that. You're gonna have some on the top, in and out, in and out. Don't just put two fans in, taking the air, blowing the air in. You gotta take it out. How's it gonna go out? Yeah, you're gonna say, oh well, vents. Yeah, make sure you clean all these fans because eventually they get dirty. The CPU fan, the heat sink on top of that needs to be you take your computer apart, get a high powered blower like a 12 volt. Black & Decker. Say you got a 12 volt lithium battery. That I think that pushes out 120. Toro is a good one. If you want to spend some money, they had Toro Black and they had the top of the line. The top of the line would blow out, I think, 135 miles per hour, much faster than any of the gas ones. So what happens is you want to blow out the dust. Be careful with that because it might blow all the chips out to it. You got to be careful. Yeah. Did I bring one to the sites? No, we use what's on site. Mostly can compressed air could work too. Anything that's strong enough to blow out the dirt. Make sure you cover your face because all that dust particles get into your system. Yeah. But I used to take people's home computer, a lot of ash from the cigarettes and all that stuff gets in there too. People don't realize that the computer should be kept in a nice cold room. That's the best thing to do with it. Should you put it in the refrigerator? No. You want to keep it cold. The colder it is, the longer the processor will last you. You won't have no problems. Sure, you can put heat sinks on the memory. Some of the memory, well, now the ones I had heat sinks. You want to keep the heat at the spare because the memory too has to be kept cold. Because all that's getting hot in there. Think of you. You're inside that machine and you're cranking out, and there was a bunch of you. It's receiving orders, and a bunch of you were in there trying to keep it cool and trying to sync it the same way. How would you do it? Yeah. So my advice: you get as many fans. Two fans, one for in, one for out. If you got something like a powerhouse gaming box, then each fan there should be intakes and outtake fans. And do I need to buy an intake fan? No, the fan that you got for outtake is the same fan for intake. You just reverse it. Instead of air going in, it's pushing the air out. Okay? Alright. That's about it. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to see if this Sony ZV-1F is working. I've been tweaking it. But we'll see what happens. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm out of here.